Hi everyone, so this is my first video, my first tutorial video at least. So this one is going to be a part of my 4 Seasons collection, which each painting, one of each of the 4 represents a different season. And this is the 4th and final one of the collection, which represents fall or autumn. All the other 3 are done, so I'm trying to get this one done for an art show this week. And yeah, let's get started. So I basically do a white center and the colors around it in a ring, and then do somewhat of a Dutch pour to fan the colors out along the edges, leaving the center white with a little bit fanned onto the edges of the white, so it looks kind of like a portal. It looks really cool. So yeah, I start with the white, which is just white. I believe this, in this container, I have white house paint, and I have it mixed with Liquitex and water to a fluid consistency as you would want for a base paint. And we're just going to start off with the circle in the middle. You want it to be swirl it around a little bit. You can really do this any size that you want. This is just my preference. And obviously when you put the colors around the edge, you can also control the size of the center with those colors as well. And then for my colors for my autumn palette, I'm doing this dark orange color that I just mixed together with orange, crimson red, and a little bit of brown. We're also going to do this, I guess like a fuchsia color. It's violet mixed with magenta. A little bit of light pink, and what else is in there? I think a little bit, just a tiny bit of white to lighten it up. And then we have this, I don't know what color you would call this. It's kind of like a dark red, with a little bit of a magenta tone in there too. I mixed this a while ago. This is a leftover color, so I'm not sure exactly what's in there, but it's basically dark red. And then this is sort of a pale yellow orange color. I think it looks very sunflowery, perfect for fall. And then this is just gold. Gold. Okay. So the orange, which I've made more of, I made more of this color because I'm going to put it around the edges first, and then all the other colors are going to be layered into a funnel, and it's going to be a funnel pour around the edge before blowing it out. So I made a little bit more of this because we're going to want to cover the edges. Even though when you blow it out, the colors will go out and cover the edges, you still need a little bit to help the paint flow along the sides. All right. Just mix this up real quick. And this is, all of the consistencies are about this, where you would drizzle it off and it barely leaves a mound. It pretty much disappears right away. So it's not super fluid, but it's not as thick as I'd say for like a regular, just like a flip cup pour or something. So a little bit of a drizzle and quickly disappears. Okay. Get that out of there. And you want to try and keep the inner white circle as clean and as color-free as you can, because it'll just look better in the end and more of a drastic look if you don't, muddy the colors at all. Right, so just take a palette knife and spread this around to the edge. A little bit of a clump in there. And it's okay if the edges like this is not perfect, because like I said, with the funnel pour and the Dutch pour part of it, you're going to be blowing colors all over this anyway. I'm just trying to be careful not to get too close to the white because I don't want to muddy colors. What is that? Also keep in mind with whatever color you choose for your border, if you're going to do the same color scheme as me, it doesn't have to be the same color. But whatever you do choose for the border, although the other colors are going to be over it in a lot of places, it will show through a lot. So whatever color you put around the edges, like this orange, make sure it's one that you do want to be a prominent color in your color scheme, because it will show through a lot. All right. All right, so basically I have all the edges touching. Let me just get the border a little bit. The extra paint. Also, for reference, this canvas is this is a 12 by 12 stretched canvas. It's only a level 1. It's a thin profile. Okay, sorry this is a little time consuming, but it'll help later. This is going to be interesting because I never really work with these colors. I, for whatever reason, always stick with the cool tones, purples and blues, and I love them. But I love these colors too. I guess I'm afraid to work with them because they're very bold. So I'm a little nervous about this mixture here because purple and orange and can clash and become muddy. So hopefully we can avoid that. Okay. All right, we're good. Okay, good start. And torch some air bubbles. And before really starting, you see some dark colors in the orange. It's just some of the brown I mixed in was a little bit clumpy, so it just kind of stuck in there, but it's not a big deal. Before actually starting the funnel pour around the edge, what I like to do is just really check the center white, make sure it's super, super clean, nothing spotted in there at all, because once you have the colors around, it's going to be really hard to clean up anything in here. So it's better to just get that done now. Alright. Alright, and I'm going to be using this funnel. Don't know the exact size, but it's not too big. Out of the set of 3 that I bought, this is the smallest one. As you can see in the 12 by 12, this is how big it is. So if that helps you. And for me, there's really no rhyme or reason, at least for me, for when I layer the colors in the funnel, which order I do them in. So, you know, I guess feel free to do whatever you're feeling. That's what I'm gonna do. So I like to put the bottom of the funnel basically straddling the line between the color and the white, so that way when I go around, it gets distributed onto both colors pretty evenly. But I did make this white circle a little bit bigger than I normally would. So I'm going to go a little bit in because I want more of the colors. I don't want them like this is a very small space. I want it to have a little bit more space on the canvas. So I'm going to go in a little bit more and start there. And just start layering. Start with the purple. And just make sure when you're doing this and layering the colors in the funnel, you keep the funnel level and press down to the canvas. Otherwise your colors will start leaking out the bottom and you don't want them to start coming out until you're ready to travel the funnel. So just keep an eye on that. A little bit of metallic white. Sorry, I don't think I mentioned that color before, but I'm throwing that in there. And I really, when I layer these colors, like to pour them from up high so they all mix in the funnel together, which is risky because they can become pretty muddy, but I'm hoping they don't. We'll see. And you can kind of alternate if you want to do more solid lines. So I'm going to do a little bit of that here and there. And then go back to pouring from up high so they all mix together. Gives it a little bit of interest. Trying not to do too much white because there's already white obviously in the middle. Doesn't need that much because it will mix together already a little bit. Right, and then going back to the middle. And with the funnel, as far as how much paint to use, I basically would fill up this round part about halfway, and I think that's plenty of paint. At least to just go around one time. Really want to get this purple in there. All right, and that is plenty of paint. All right, now when you're ready to start traveling the funnel, you're going to just slightly lift it a little bit and slide it along the circle. You can push it back down to stop the paint from coming out, lift it up more if you want more to come out. Once you do it, you know, like one time, you get a feel for it on how you're supposed to move it, and you can have a little bit more control if you want. And then you can also, you don't have to go exactly in the circle. You can, you know, make wavy lines. You can create different shapes. So yeah, here we go. And look how beautiful. Ugh. If only I could capture the paint in the funnel somehow. It's so beautiful. Okay. And let's torch it real quick, get rid of some air bubbles. Maybe bring out some cells. I already see a lot of beautiful cell action. I love how these colors mix. They're not too muddy. Look at all these beautiful, beautiful cells over here. Oh my God. Okay. And then I like to use a straw because it helps me reach further because I can't really, you know, lean too far into the canvas. So but for the edges, because we have so much space here, you can just blow with your mouth if you're comfortable putting your face that close to the canvas, because it covers more space. And what I like to do first is blow out, and then we blow in towards the white. I don't want to get rid of all these cells, but I do have to blow the paint out. Okay, that's a good start. can always go back in with the straw after, which I probably will. So I want to tilt a little this way because this is looking a little uneven. Don't want that. It's a little bit better. Good start. And then just whatever your heart desires for the middle, whatever you want it to look like, more like a bloom, more like water splashing. There's so many options. I'm just gonna keep tilting this because this is still a little uneven. I want to make this look more like a circle in the middle. Oh, damn it. Well, just flicked paint where I exactly did not want it, but that's okay, that happens. You just get a clean palette knife. Try and scoop it out, and we can always put more white there, it's not a big deal. All good. All right, let me just spin this around. Okay, and then just to give it more interest, I'll usually blow back a few times and just work with these really fine lacing pieces in the middle. Be careful not to blow too much if it starts to get muddy though. Like my colors are starting to get a little bit muddy in some places, so I'm not gonna do this too much, but just a little bit. And like this corner I think could use a little bit more purple, so I'm just gonna drop some in there. A little bit of purple. And a little bit of yellow, because those contrast really nicely. Okay, and then a little bit of gold. Okay. Okay. Let's give it a torch, see what it's looking like. Torching it will obviously make some cells appear and can enhance the lacing. So that's not something you want, then don't torch as much as I do, but I actually love that, so I usually torch a little bit more than I see other artists do. I feel like this spot right here looks a little muddy, so I'm gonna try and clean that up a little bit, and then I'm gonna try and leave it alone. Or you know what, I could do it from here. Nope, I'm not gonna risk it. I think that looks much better. Maybe break up that purple just a tiny bit. I really like this lacing here though. And make sure when you're blowing the colors, you blow them all, at least most of it, all the way to the edge. Otherwise, it'll look like it stops short. All right, I think this is pretty cool. And I'm pretty happy with the color combo, and it didn't get as muddy as I thought it would. So, and like I said, the orange, which I had as my border color, is very overpowering as mostly orange. So whatever color you pick for that background is going to come through a lot. So keep that in mind. You can see that here. I'm just gonna touch up a few more spots. And of course my dog's hair ends up in everything, including every painting at some point. Just grabbing little tiny microscopic dog hairs that end up in everything. Okay, I think this looks great. Give it one last torch and we're all done.